It's Friday, the 8th of October 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Morning, Michael.
All right, 5 stories in 5 minutes. Let's get straight into it. There is something of a revolution going on in the workplace thanks to COVID. Companies are grappling with the new world. How much can people work from home? Can people come to the workplace if they're not inoculated? It seems big business is finally making some calls about the future of work, Sean.
They sure are. The no jab, no work policy seems to have plenty of momentum. Some businesses, such as the airliners and some manufacturers, have mandated vaccinations for staff. New South Wales teachers fall into that category, so too parts of the Telstra workforce. Much of the mining sector is insisting on vaccinations. Western Australia earlier in the week said everyone had to be vaccinated on a site in that state. BHP joined them yesterday. Others, particularly the service economy, such as lawyers and accountants, have told people not to come into the office or visit clients if they're not double jabbed. Hard for them to do their jobs that way. And then other people just don't care if they don't come into the office at all. Thrive Australia, used to be known as Census, told its 500 staff to stay at home permanently yesterday. Plenty of implications in this. How do you manage staff? Are they working efficiently? How do you create culture, teamwork, that type of thing? Also, what about all those office towers in CBDs? It'll be a brave person to say they won't remain fairly empty unless they do some serious discounting. A brave new world, Michael.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, story number 2, Sean, I, like pretty much everybody else in the country, love talking about property, but this statistic is pretty incredible. The value of the Australian housing market has now pushed beyond $9 trillion. Remarkable.
$9.1 trillion to be exact, up $1 trillion in just 5 months. It's now 3 times the size of the superannuation market. And in fact, if you added superannuation, the stock exchange and listed commercial real estate, all the office towers around the country together, you'd still end up less than the value of real estate. New South Wales got about 41% of that value, Victoria 28%, and Queensland 15%.
Story number 3 this morning, Sean. KFC franchisee in Australia, Collins Foods, is now going to run the fast food outlet in the Netherlands after signing a deal with the US-based KFC owner, Yum Brands.
They sure are. It's a really interesting company, Collins Foods. It owns 3 brands, Sizzler, which has pretty much been retired, Taco Bell and KFC, which obviously its biggest franchise. It's spent a lot of money recently sponsoring the Australian cricket team. It's ploughed money into advertising. Go on, say it. Shut up and take my money. Collins' share price has done really well. It's up 5-fold over the past 7 years. Now it's going offshore. It's going to be the franchise owner in the Netherlands. Of course, Australia has one of the great companies that has pushed into European and Japanese markets, and that's Domino's. Domino's have had incredible growth in the last few years, but it's been pretty much through their franchises in Europe and Japan.
Okay, now story number 4, bit of a serious one, this one. And the Prime Minister has backed Barnaby Joyce's concerns about anonymous defamation on social media. What's he said about it?
Well, he has called people cowards, which I think is fair enough. He's saying those who go anonymously on social media and vilify people, harass and bully them, engage in defamatory statements, need to be held responsible. Obviously, the government is going to do more about it, so there'll be more to come on this, and good on them, because it is atrocious what goes on online anonymously.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more on that one. Story number 5, let's lighten it up a bit because this is my favourite story of the day. It is from investment bank Piper Sandler out of the US. For 42 years, it's been surveying US teenagers, and the idea is that if you can get an understanding of the patterns of teenagers' consumption, that you get a pretty good insight into future spending patterns. Makes sense to me. The survey was released yesterday. What does it tell us?
Well, I know it's a US survey, but it's applicable to Australia, I think. The number 1 spending item for teenagers is clothing. That's the first time since 2014 that's hit that spot. It used to be food. Now they're spending less on video games and personal care. If they're watching videos, it's Netflix, followed by YouTube. The number 1 social issue is now the environment. The number 1 social media platform is Snapchat, followed by TikTok and Instagram. Nike is the number 1 apparel brand and the number 1 footwear brand. Quite an incredible ability Nike has had to remain in that top spot over generations.
That's pretty incredible because I reckon that was the same when I was a teenager, which was, 20 years ago. That's amazing.
Teenagers now like to pay cash. Apple's not just the number 1 smartphone brand, but for teenagers, it's also the number 1 watch brand. And Michael, guess who their favourite celebrity is?
Oh, I was someone from Snapchat or TikTok, I suppose.
No, Adam Sandler. He's older than me. Adam Sandler's 55.
Adam Sandler, who was in The Waterboy and Billy Madison and Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore was 1996. So 25 years ago, Happy Gilmore came out. We're talking about teenagers. He's their favourite celebrity.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, I know. Who's their favourite influencer, though?
I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to name one.
Well, it's Emma Chamberlain. She's taken over from David Dobrik. David Dobrik actually went off YouTube for a little while there during the year, so maybe that explains that. But I still think it's quite incredible that teenagers love Adam Sandler.
Yep, that is an amazing story. And if you take one thing from today's program, make it that. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thanks, Michael.
There we go, the top 5 stories in 5 minutes. It's Friday, the 8th of October, 2021. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. If 5 minutes isn't quite enough, then find our longer podcast called Fear and Greed on your podcast platform. And you can always find more information at fearandgreed.com.au and sign up for our free daily newsletter. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fear and Greed Business Headlines. Have a great day.